What Nigerians are hearing right now is very disturbing, and it is something that concerns everyone, whether you live in the north, south, east, or west. Reports coming from security discussions and local intelligence sources are pointing to a dangerous development where armed bandit groups are no longer operating alone. According to the information circulating, some bandit factions have been quietly working with ISWAP elements, and a joint training location was reportedly uncovered in a remote area. This revelation is causing serious concern among security watchers and ordinary citizens alike. Please, as you are listening to this update, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring verified and balanced news to you in real time. What makes this situation worrying is not just the idea of cooperation, but what it could mean on the ground. For years, Nigerians have understood bandits as criminal groups focused on kidnappings, village raids, and ransom collection. On the other hand, ISWAP has been known as an extremist group with structured command, ideology, and combat experience. When these two types of groups begin to exchange knowledge, training methods, or support, the risk level changes completely. Security conversations around this issue suggest that the training camp discovery shows signs of organized activity. This includes weapon handling practice, coordinated movement drills, and shared survival tactics. If this is accurate, it means bandit groups may be trying to upgrade their operations, making them more strategic and more difficult to track. This is why Nigerians need to pay attention to this development and not treat it as ordinary news. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss important updates like this. Another key issue here is location. These reported training activities are said to be happening in hard-to-reach areas, mostly forests and border zones where security presence is limited. These areas have long been used by criminal groups because they are difficult to monitor. When different armed groups meet in such locations, it becomes harder for communities to know who is who and harder for security forces to separate criminal activity from extremist influence. What this means for local communities is increased fear and uncertainty. The villages that already struggle with safety may now face groups that are better trained and more coordinated. This could affect farming activities, transportation, and even school attendance in affected regions. Parents are already worried, and local leaders are calling for stronger protection. As you are following this gist, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps this platform growing. Another angle Nigerians should understand is motivation. Bandits are mainly driven by money, while ISWAP is driven by ideology and territorial influence. When these motivations intersect, cooperation can happen for practical reasons. Bandits may want better weapons or training, while extremist groups may want access to local routes, supplies, or recruits. Even short-term cooperation can cause long-term damage. Security analysts have always warned that insecurity in Nigeria is evolving. Groups learn from each other. Tactics change. What worked years ago may no longer work today. This is why news like this is not just about one camp or one report. It is about a pattern that could reshape how insecurity spreads across regions. Please like this video and subscribe now if you are getting value from this breakdown. The government and security agencies are under pressure to respond quickly and clearly. Nigerians want reassurance, not panic. People want to know that these developments are being taken seriously and that proactive steps are being taken to prevent further escalation. Clear communication is important at this stage to avoid misinformation and fear spreading faster than facts. Another concern is the ripple effect. If cooperation between these groups becomes common, it could encourage copycat alliances in other regions. Criminal groups may see collaboration as a way to survive increased security operations. This would complicate efforts to restore peace and stability. For ordinary Nigerians, the key takeaway is awareness, not fear. Staying informed helps communities cooperate better with security agencies and local leaders. Panic does not help, but silence is also dangerous. Conversations like these help people understand the seriousness of the situation without exaggeration. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Share it with others so everyone stays informed. At this point, it is important to say clearly that Nigerians should rely on verified updates and not rumors. Headlines can sound alarming, but understanding the full context helps us respond wisely. What matters most is how authorities act and how communities remain vigilant. What many people may not realize is that insecurity does not grow suddenly. It grows gradually. It starts when small criminal groups discover that cooperation gives them more advantage than working alone. Over time, that cooperation can turn into shared planning, shared routes, and shared protection. If bandit groups begin learning from ISWAP-style operations, it could explain why some attacks now appear more organized, more calculated, and sometimes more difficult to predict. Another serious concern is recruitment. When groups come together, young people in vulnerable areas become exposed to more influence. Some may be drawn in by money, others by protection promises, and some simply because they feel they have no alternative. This is why education, community engagement, and economic support remain very important even while security operations continue. Please take a moment again to like this video and subscribe. Your support keeps this kind of analysis coming. There is also the issue of weapons circulation. Over the years, Nigeria has struggled with illegal arms movement across borders and through unguarded routes. Cooperation between armed groups can increase access to better weapons and ammunition. This does not just affect security forces, it affects civilians the most. Communities become trapped between fear and silence, unsure of who to trust. From a national perspective, this situation demands coordination. Security challenges today are not isolated to one state or one region. Then what happens in one forest today can affect a highway tomorrow. That is why intelligence sharing between agencies and quick response matters more than ever. People should also understand that security operations are not always loud or immediate. Sometimes, what is happening behind the scenes involves tracking movements, identifying links, and cutting supply chains quietly. These processes take time, but they are critical to long-term stability. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want these updates explained in simple, clear English. Another issue that deserves attention is public confidence. Nigerians want to feel safe in their homes and while traveling. When headlines like this surface, it can shake confidence. This is why transparent communication from authorities is essential. When people understand what is happening and what steps are being taken, fear reduces and cooperation increases. Let's also talk about misinformation. In times like these, false stories spread quickly on social media. Some reports exaggerate situations, while others create unnecessary panic. Viewers should always cross-check information and rely on trusted platforms that focus on facts, not fear.